Thank you, Rick. Appreciate that. Yep, I was muted. Absolutely 100% muted. So, thanks for that. Welcome. You see at the top, I'm going to kind of start over again a little bit because that first part was kind of pointless. Anyway, I depend on you guys to keep me straight when I do these shows because I always screw them up. All my shows. At the top is pinned a link, and that link at the top of the chat is pinned so that you can go over to Independent Mini United's birthday shindig tonight, should you care to partake in that. It's over there, and it's a lot of fun. Where there's a ton of people there. Buffering's in there, Alligratilla's there, Anti-Ajax there. Of course, Indy is there, DOA is there. It's a fun time. They're doing a lot of cool stuff out there, and I'm really enjoying listening to it. I have it up over here, so if you see me cheating every once in a while and looking at the chat over there, don't freak out. It's all okay. To get into tonight's topic, for me is power and control. I am a control freak and a power whore. Control is what I exerted with the power I was given. Thank you, Noble. I shall endeavor to not do that. But it is Indy. I mean, her shows are so cool. Anyway, I am most definitely addicted to the power and control. My power came through anger. Get angry and yell and stomp around like a big blowhard windbag, and people would become intimidated, and then I would get my way, generally speaking. Terrible way to communicate with other people. In fact, it's not communication at all. And I fell into that trap. Hello, Zach. Welcome. Thank you for coming by tonight. And I fell into that trap. Well, no, I didn't fall into that trap. I set and snared myself in that trap. It fit into what I alluded to a couple weeks ago or so when I had the other. When those two kids, my friends from grade school, had decided it was time for me to no longer be popular with them, and they jumped me and started pushing me around. I just snapped. I got mad. I took them both on, did whatever I did, and they both ran away. And I know I'm not supposed to count the things that happened before I was 18, but I think that really set me up in early years to think this error that, if I get angry and people are intimidated by me, then that's okay. That's an exertion of my personal power. Not understanding, of course, that that's not any kind of an exertion of personal power in any way, shape, or form. The only personal power that ever should be exercised by you on anyone is yourself. That's the only personal power that a person should have. It's the only personal power that should matter. Sadly, for most victims, they either can't act on that or they don't know how, because they are often coming from a victim stance from their own childhood, their own younger years, their own previous lives. And so when they get with a peachy asshole like me, that's how we exert that, and they allow us because they've been taught that that's okay. This series of programs is an attempt to show that it doesn't have to be that way, and it doesn't have to be a battle, and it shouldn't be. a matter of power and control. It should be a matter of communication and cooperation. It's what I seek now, but for so many years, probably from the age of 20, 21 on, that's pretty much how I got my kicks, sadly, was by exerting power and control the wrong way over people that would allow me to do that. And it just reinforced more and more what I am trying to say now, in that we all have the power to change. You've seen my graphic that I put up sometimes, that you can change, but you have to be the one to initiate and want that change. And no change can come without you initiating it. Your significant other, your friends, your family, they can try. They can put you in a position to have an opportunity to succeed, but if you're not ready to take that help and succeed, you won't. Ask me how I know. Like most abusers, I say, oh, I'll change, I'm sorry, it won't happen again. I just found a different way to do it the next time. And then that justified the same bullshit that I'd done before. Well, I didn't do the same thing. It was different. It was different this time. Was it? Really? No. It really wasn't any different. And that's how I had to treat myself. I had to call myself to the carpet, and I had to keep myself in line, so to speak, because my brain was so trained to just go right down that other row that I didn't know how to make that left turn at Albuquerque that Bugs Bunny is always talking about. Or maybe that's the one I did make. I don't know. You'll have to let me know. Just catching up with you a little bit there. Well, Rick, Mark, Noble, Zach, anybody out there that's lurking, I hope you're having a good night. This isn't the easiest topic for me to talk about. It's kind of a constant battle inside my head to want to deflect and make it sound like I didn't do anything that bad. It's okay. I'm going to make this statement, and hopefully it won't be taken out of context. You can't say this is my opinion based on my own experience. You can't say I'm no longer an abusive person. I took care of that. Because I can tell you that I'm as abusive now, or I have the abilities and the things in my toolbox to be abusive now just as bad, or just as well as I did when I was actively abusing my family. And that's true, Noble. You cannot save people from their own stupidity. And until someone wants to take responsibility for their own actions, stand up and say, hey, I'm doing something wrong here, and I need to change it, and I need to be a better person. And then you have to do that every day. You have to make that same decision. It's very much like being a recovering addict. Drug of choice, I don't care. Arguably, power and anger in that respect in the world of an abuser is a drug. I can tell you, it's a rush. And I don't mean that in a good way, like, oh yeah, let's all go get abusive and yell at people. Let's not do that. I tried that for many years, and it's really a terribly and ineffective way to try and communicate with humanity. Recently, some of you know that I inadvertently, and hear me out, inadvertently became abusive with a person that I care for very much, and I didn't think of what I was doing as being abusive we were having a discussion about a topic I was somewhat passionate about. Let's just put it that way. And as I was talking about things, I became more and more emotional, and my voice became more and more assertive and angry and oppressive, and I actually hurt her. I wasn't even directing it at her. And that was eye-opening for me. This is a person I was not trying to control, was not trying to abuse, I was not trying to impact in any negative way, but because of my personal manifestation of being frustrated and angry, it caused her to feel victimized, and that crushed me. And it made me think about this tonight. Because when I let myself get upset, start talking about things, becoming more passionate, so to speak, when I start getting my ire up about it and I start really feeling the intensity of what I want to say, my listening to myself is quite scary. You will indeed see me tomorrow. Welcome to the Doc Danger Elves. Thank you for doing this. The elves are truly, truly a wonderful thing. You can look on my community page. Anybody that's out there in the chat, I will have a link to this tomorrow. Another in our community. Many in our community need our help, but there's some that are just could use a little pick-me-up. But Doc would be one of those people right now. I do indeed plan to be there, so I'll try and set up some things to go out on shares to remind folks that it's going to be there. So if you have a link, please put it in the chat now before you leave, or if you're making rounds to other lives tonight, please put that link in the chat. I don't have it handy, or I would put it up myself. So the only reason Indy's birthday shindig is up there is because I did that. Hey, Lord Spike Protein. All hail Lord Spike. I know how I felt when I was a drug addict, and I know how I felt when I was excellent. I try to keep myself from being past the point of no return anymore because I spent so long past that point. I like being where I am now, but I don't want to intimidate or scare people that I care about. I don't want to intimidate people I don't care about, honestly. I might want to influence them with my fantastically well thought out opinion. My particular... Everybody knows I'm still on the evil pot. As somebody who's been abusive and a drug addict and a karaoke host and worked in bars for years, I'll take a bar full of people stoned out of their mind on the pot to somebody that's had 3 or 4 drinks in the night and doesn't want to go home. Thank you very much. I appreciate that link. Pay attention to that link, folks. Maybe make a note of it and turn on the reminder for it. It's going to be a good. It's going to be a good time. And let's get behind Doc and do what we can. I'm going to stop talking about it now so I don't start crying again. Fuck cancer. Anyway. We'll talk about that tomorrow. Show up on the panel and I talk about all the terrible things that have happened between Doc and I and all of those awful things. That's a lie. No awful things have happened between us except that we're too damn far apart. Yeah. Bring the tissues tomorrow. Yes, I will. I will indeed bring those tissues tomorrow. Thank you so much for coming in. And, if you have any last minute information that you like to give me, please hit my email up for that. I think you've got that. help support that sort of thing. I can't do a lot, but I can do some things. So just let me know. And I'll bring my tissues and be ready to bawl my eyes out. Because it's okay to do that sometimes. It kind of segues from what I was talking about with the power and control. There's a pattern that goes along with that for me in the abuse, talking about abusive power and control. Fantastic. I'll look through my stuff and see if I have anything. I don't know that in mine I do, but I will look and see if I have any at all. But it fits in because you get a rush from that power and control when it's successful. And I hate to say it that way, but there's no other way to describe that. When someone is complied to your oppression, there's a payoff, just like when you're doing that drug that is detrimental. In my case, that was methamphetamine. Had I not quit, I would be dead long time ago. With my heart conditions and problems, yeah, that drug would have killed me. It may not have even gotten as far as messing up my heart before it killed me. So there's some addiction or addictive things in there as well, because we get that rush, that feeling back that, oh, it worked. Okay, well, I'm going to do that. Yes, please leave us with words of wisdom. Absolutely true, Lord. Spike, that is a great point. Anger out of control is definitely our worst enemy. Anger in and of itself is just a feeling, but for people like me, and I'm not making excuses, I will never make an excuse for the abuse that I laid out that no one deserved, ever. So this is not an excuse, it's a statement. Anger is a feeling that is just as valid as any other feeling. It is when that anger is used to oppress or hurt or make someone else change in a manner that is negative and to your benefit, that becomes a problem. And that anger needs to be controlled. Can't be stamped out, but it's got to be controlled. People like me, abusers like myself, need to stay mindful of everything. I've had real life friends ask me if I know how I affect other people, and I don't sometimes. When I'm angry, when I'm just like my friend, she has been my friend for 15 years. I've never been mad at her a single time, ever, for anything. I've never been so much as irritated with her. Yet I still, that passion in me came out, and I was angry and doing my thing, and it happened anyway. So, yeah, anger is evil. And what we can't deny is that anger exists. You can be upset and righteous and all those other descriptions without being angry and oppressive and mean and getting somebody back. In my mind, anger always looks for repayment for wrongs done or perceived wrongs done. Driving down the road, minding your own business, cruise control set, jamming. And then here comes a guy, and he cuts you off. And you get mad because that guy cut you off. And that was bullshit. So then you start driving a little more aggressively. Get up, you're going to show this guy, you're going to teach him a lesson. Yeah. What are you doing now? And by you, I'm pointing at me. Road raging, being stupid, following too close, intimidating, pushing. still abusive. It doesn't matter if somebody was a prick to you or not. Doesn't give you the right to endanger everyone's life around you. Agreed. And men, I believe, can overcome that spirit. But you always have to acknowledge, at least for me, that the possibility exists and it can happen, and it can be a very, very negative time for people that it's not even intended to be negative for. I hope that me talking about this openly and remembering to reference myself as much as possible and remind you in the viewing audience that I am talking about myself regardless of the pronoun that I use. If I'm talking about this abuse, anything on this channel, it's referring to me personally. I'm talking about myself. I don't put my own things on other people, and I don't expect others to act and find the same ways that I have, because my ways don't work that well. Yeah. And it's a hard thing to overcome, Lord Spike. It is incredibly difficult to overcome it. And I mean, we're talking about power and control tonight. So if we look at it that way, us as men, abusers, it doesn't, by far and large, most abusers are men. But there are women that are abusive as well. They are definitely the minority, so generally speaking, they're not who I'm talking about. But any abuser should acknowledge that there is a battle that happens inside of us. And spiritual, yeah, it's something. I don't know if spiritual is the best I can come up with it. Well, I'm not exactly sure that men should run the world, Noble, but you know, that's a topic for that's a topic for another day, and probably not one that quite fits into my personal abusive story. But man, oh man, let me tell you, I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad that I've reached a point in my life that I can talk about this openly. I'm never going to put myself on anything even close to the brave people that sit on victims panels and talk about how they were abused in their lives as people that were abused. If you have the opportunity to sit on a victims panel and listen to what those people have to say, I encourage you to do it. Usually there's a small charge, somewhere between $20 and usually $50 to sit on the panel, and that's for helping to pay for their facilities and the time and the things, the logistics that need to happen to make that panel possible. And that's okay, Preston. We appreciate you lurking. Well, I do. By we, I mean I. Thank you for taking some time out and hanging out here for a few minutes. This isn't going to go on too much longer. I try and keep these fairly short anyway. And I'm hoping that I can get this done within about 35 or 40 minutes and wrap it up, and then we can all get over and hang out with Indy at her birthday shindig, because that's fun. And Noble, I've only peeked at the chat like 2 times. Okay, it's not even like I really cheated, so it's okay. I'm sorry. I'll try and be better. Yes, Preston, please try and get better. Rest yourself. Maybe switch to edibles. I don't know. Yeah, breathing thing, you know. Kind of like to see you keep breathing. Yeah, I don't have any. There's too many negative things like that out there that are happening, and I want to speak out against them and say, hey, let's all just chill. And well, I have this contract with everybody. I'll lighten this up just a little bit. I get to be. There you go. Yeah. I just keep. Exactly. See, everyone listen to Lord Spike. See, he is the voice of reason in the room, and. Yeah. Absolutely understand that reference, Lord Spike. Um, so, yeah. Oh. If there is a message in any of the crap that I put my family through many years ago, and I do have a fantastic relationship with my children and grandchildren now. Um, I'm a very lucky person to have had my victims, or my children in this case. Be clear, I'm talking about my children in this case. Um, to have it within themselves to forgive me and allow me to remain part of their lives. But that only happened because I demonstrated the change that I told them I wanted to effect. But it goes on, it never stops. You can't keep uh, you can't keep pushing others down to lift yourself up, and that's really what it comes down to with power and control. And when you're using, such as I did, anger to exert that power and control, it's just worse. Every victim that I've ever spoken with on a victims panel has told me the same thing. The physical abuse that they may or may not have endured, but the physical part of it, they got over pretty quickly. That healed, that went away. But the psychological part, the yelling, the angry outbursts, the control, those things, they came back time and time and time again. And those were the things that were hardest for them to overcome as victims. And it's interesting that that's one of the hardest things for me to overcome as an abuser as well. Is the psychological side of it. I catch myself doing things that are manipulative and stuff even today. And then I have to do a gut check and stop, hold myself accountable, back up, apologize if necessary, do something different from that point forward. Doing something different is the hardest part, because you can do something a little different, and it might seem like that's okay. Hang on a sec, I think I got a cat knocking at my door. Hey, what's up? You ready to not be out in the rain anymore? Crazy cat. I'll be right with you, folks. Hang on. You were so polite knocking at the door. There you go, Bubba's. Alright. Thanks for that, folks. I watched you try and play left-handed guitar today. That did look incredibly difficult, Marshall. That did look incredibly difficult. And by the way, I actually got a minute to breathe. It's completely off topic, folks, but I want to fill Marshall in here. I started off with the first of the two chords, the G and the C. I realized I have to learn all of these bar chords too, because I don't know most of them. So learning new muscles, yeah, that can be painful. I guess when you have a left-handed guitar, you don't have to worry about stringing it up backwards, right, Marshall? What? Who said that? Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that show. Yeah, matter of fact, that entire program was very, very pleasing to watch. Marshall is a fantastic human being. No, I wasn't comparing. It would just there's muscles, because they have, and I felt them. They're somewhere between here and here, and yeah, that, so I'm using them. So I modified my plan. Now I'm learning 2 a day. So today we did G and C, and I practiced doing the G and the C. And then tomorrow I'm going to look up the next 2 chords, the F and the, hang on, I can't remember what it is because I'm terrible, F and the B flat. So then tomorrow I'll do the G, the C, the F, and the B flat. That's how we're going to work through this. The next day I'll see about adding a 3rd one. And if my hand just permanently cramps and looks something like this, then I'll call you and let you know that you can have Ruby early because I can't play anymore. I will. So, besides, it's cool when you do that little chord circle thing that you do. Da, 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 da. Anyway, sorry, that's fun. Completely off subject, but yeah, we're gonna get that. We're gonna get the circle of fourths, and I count everything now. I don't always count it right, but I generally start over. Marshall gave me some great tips while I was with him and got me started on some new things. Yes, focus. And I tell you, you got a 4-minute song and you're not used to counting that thing out. 4 minutes is a long time to do the 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4s and the stuffs. And trying to keep on the beat, yeah, it's a challenge, and I can see where I was severely lacking, and hopefully this will make me just slightly better at it. So, anyway, I really have talked about pretty much everything I needed to, yes, that is an amazing comment. I'm going to start rolling this back. I am going to head over to Independent Mini United's channel and watch some more of the birthday shindig. And check that out over there. I recommend you all do the same. We got Doc Danger stuff coming out tomorrow. There's a link in this chat, and I will put links up on the community page as well to that. If you're at all interested in checking that situation out, getting some more information and facts about it, feel free to do it. Anyone listening to this in a replay, feel free to comment down below. I'll answer questions if you have them. I'll respond. If you just want to bash me, that's okay. You can do that down there too. I don't care. I probably deserve most of what you'll say, but if you're just nasty and you're not making a valid point of any kind about anything I said, probably going to delete your comment. And I'm not talking about the people that are here. I'm talking about the comments on the video later on for people watching the replay. Because I don't believe anybody currently in my chat would ever do anything like that. Other than call me to the carpet on something. Which is fine. That's exactly what I want every one of you to do. That's another part of this. Is reminding me that I'm accountable to everyone that's a part of my life. Whether physically part of my life. Or spiritually part of my life. Or virtually part of my life. I have a responsibility to all of you. Which is why I do this. This is why I started this little thing, was to continue my journey, hold myself accountable, remind myself of some things I've probably forgotten, and continue to move forward. And maybe, somebody out there who might be in the same situation will realize that there is help for both abused and abusers. Arguably, the abused should get help first, but if you're honestly wanting to change, there's resources, there's things, there's ways, and you'll probably always struggle with being an asshole, but at least you'll be a more aware asshole that can kind of take things back a notch when you need to. So I love you all. Take care of yourselves. For those of you that are going to go over and hang at Indie Shindig now, I'll see you over there. If not, I'll see you in a chat somewhere. As always, I really wish. Well, it's the rock and roll god, man. It's that one. It's the Greek god of rock. That's the one we're going there. Don't know if he has COVID or not. I have not directly asked Preston. Preston, if you are still hanging out there, what is that you got? Are you just sick? Is it just your body giving out with certain parts, or do you have an actual disease? I'll just ask that question before I get out of here. Right on, Lord Spike. Emphysema. Okay. Thank you, Preston. So there you go, Noble. Preston is fighting emphysema. So I will stay safe. Thank you, Zach. Thank you, everybody. Set up by Marshall, Lord Spike Protein, Preston, Noble, everybody out there that is hanging or talking or chatting or came by to hear anything. Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time. And I'll see you again. In a few weeks, there'll be another Confessions. What do we talk about there? I don't know. Take care, everybody. Thank you. Rock on.